All right, three, two, one. We're going live. What's up, everybody? It's Tyler with Hooksets Are Free. Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday night, January 16th. It's Martin Luther King Day. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good holiday. Whether or not you had to work today, I did have to work. My wife is working tonight as well. But regardless, hope everybody's doing well. I am just drinking water tonight. I thought I had a different glass of water. I'm a little confused at the moment. Um, but regardless, I had kind of a lot of things to bring down here. Is my lighting okay, or does it seem really harsh on me right now? Um, I'm sure it'll be okay when I start showing you things up close, but right now my lighting looks a little bit harsh on me. Riley in the house. What's up, Riley? How you doing? Tennessee Bassmaster. Yo, yo. Adam, what's up? How you guys doing tonight? Good to see you. I've got a healthy package from Tackle Warehouse that is fresh in the mail. I did open it already and record an unboxing video that I fully intend to edit and post at a later date that will be a condensed version of this live stream. Hopefully right around like a 20-minute unboxing video, but I am pumped to show you guys what is in here. I alluded to this purchase already in one of my last live streams, but as a little bit of a background on this package here, this was a very, very last minute purchase from the Tackle Warehouse annual sale that is like the 25 days of Christmas or whatever it's called, right? It used to just be 12 days. But I think this past year or this season, they did 25 different deals. They had a whole bunch of different stuff on sale, and a lot of it was really good deals to the point where I couldn't quite pass it up. I couldn't help it. So a lot of what is in this package, as well as the rod that I'm going to unbox and show you guys, was pretty much like an impulse purchase. And this is a bigger one. You know, in total, I think I spent like $320 between the package of lures and the rod itself. But from a value standpoint, I mean, I don't even want to say probably over pushing $600 worth of stuff that I ended up getting. So really excited about that. Just as a spoiler, the rod is like a $320 rod that I got for $140. So couldn't help but make the purchase on that one. So you guys will see after all of this, I will unbox the rod. But let's get into this package. Or do you want to see the rod first? You tell me, guys, because there's only a handful of people in here right now. People might still be watching Travis Manson, Epic Eric, and what's TK Stanley from Tacklecraft. They're all streaming together on Travis's channel on Smallmouth Crush right now, but they've been on for over 3 hours. So I couldn't help but wait any longer. Do you guys want to see the baits or do you want to see the rod first? You tell me. First person to say gets to make the decision. All right. Tennessee Bassmaster wins. Just kidding. You win nothing but the decision for me to unbox this rod first. So that's what we're going to do. I have not unboxed this rod yet myself, so I'm kind of sad to admit that I don't have a proper knife or system to cut this rod tube open, but that's okay. I will make do. We will persist. Tennessee Bassmaster, what is your first name again? I don't know why I want to call you Ron. Is your name Ron? What is your first name, dude? Oh, here we go. Oh, baby. Well, it's all in one piece. That's a good first start. Let's go. Wow, sounds like an instrument I could play. Wow. The pile of rod tubes over there is getting a little embarrassing, but what can you do? Wow, the packaging on the tip of this rod is extraordinary. It's in a hard plastic tube. Harder plastic tubing for the tip of the rod that was extra reinforced. So I like that packaging, and it made pulling this out super easy. So, well, hokey dokey. This right here is a rod that was not even on my radar until I saw the deal. Um, and the deal is because this rod, um, I don't think, well, I guess this line has been updated, not discontinued per se. They are still for sale, but this is the 13 Fishing NV Black, NV2 black rod. And wow, that lighting's going to be harsh. You're not going to be able to read anything there. So let's see if I can show you some of these specs up close. This is the 610 medium heavy, or yeah, medium heavy fast. And this is really made to be a jig skipping rod more than anything, but is kind of a little bit of a do everything type of rod. So rated 3/8 to 1 ounce. And I really want to flex it. Yeah, so this is going to be for skipping lighter jigs and perhaps as kind of a shorter do everything type of stick. Now, this is a very light, very sensitive rod that retails at over $300. The tag on this says 300 even, but it's super high-end materials all throughout the rod. So a Japanese PVG 46T blank, which means nothing to me. Japanese 46-ton Toray graphite. Okay, that makes sense. It's got a carbon divide reel seat, high density Japanese EVA split grip handle, a unique evolved snaggletooth hook keeper. It's got Fuji stainless steel K-frame guides with SIC inserts, which is awesome. So really high quality guides on this thing, top to bottom. Looks really well made. I'll look at top to bottom a little bit closer up later, but let's take a look at this bait keeper that is unique. I've never seen a bait keeper quite like this thing. Flip this around, see if I can show it to you. Snaggletooth, also horrible at focusing. Nice. Snaggle focus is more like it. That is horrific. What is with the light tonight? I told you it was harsh, man. That is just bad. So it's got a unique bait keeper for you to just be able to clip your moving bait, open hooks right around this bait keeper here on the front in between the grips. So really interesting. And I'm excited about this. They didn't have all of the sizes or models in stock. And so, you know, I went with what I thought might fill the gap or be the most appropriate for my style of fishing. And I do happen to have a perfect match of a reel to go with this rod in terms of look. So I'm excited. I'll show you guys in 1 second. Oh, Tin Horse Monty is live tonight as well. Okay, Tom, I had no idea. Um, Tennessee Bassmaster, your name's Danny. I'm way off. All right, my bad, dude. Chicken fried steak. How's it going tonight, dude? Snaggletooth technology. Yeah, I don't know what that even means, dude. Are you aware of these bait keepers? That chrome just wants to mess up the camera. Snaggletooth. But let me show you guys, those of you watching right now, I'll show you that I managed to get my hands on a Diwazillion at a discounted rate. Saw this reel in person about 45 minutes to an hour from my house and held it in my hands and was just, of course, it was exactly like I thought it was going to be. Everything that I wish it was and more. And I wasn't at all prepared to buy it, but I was holding on to it for so long. And eventually I noticed that it had a little bit of a scratch on it. I'll show you. You can see that right there. On the frame itself, it's got a scratch. And so I asked them about that. This was a display model, and they sold me this for like $100 off of the retail price. So I decided to purchase it, and holy moly, this combo right here retails at like 650 bucks. I have never had, let alone held, such a high quality combo in my hands. And this thing is chromed out and sexy as ever. So I am not a righty. I'll say this will be an interesting and perfect setup, almost too beautiful to lock into my hands and get used to fishing as a righty in certain techniques where, say, I'm skipping a jig and I'm fishing to my left. I need to get used to fishing ambidextrous and being able to fish righty and set the hook to my right. At least in my head, I feel like I need to do that. So this combo right here in the 13 Fishing Envy Black 2 rod and the Daiwa Zillion in a 7-speed is going to be my workhorse combo this year when it comes to jigs for the most part. Anything between, you know, maybe as light as a quarter, but more likely that range of 3/8 to an ounce. This is going to be the deal for me. Okay, so I'm pumped about this combo. Very excited about the combo. And I'm just going to be playing with it until the snow melts and I have a chance to actually get out and use it. But, gorgeous, gorgeous. So that gets me excited. Now it's time to open up some baits and show you guys what I got in this package. Carl Ferg is in the house. How you doing, Carl? Good to see you in here. Chicken Fried Steak says, congrats. Looks like a sweet combo. Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed about it too. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Like I said, I already opened and unboxed this, recorded it earlier today. I will probably post that condensed version in the next few days on my channel. haven't posted a video in forever. So here's a little preview of what I picked up. If you're watching this on the replay, you can hit pause and go back and look at that if for whatever reason you want to. Well, we're going to go through this, start with soft plastics first, and then go through hard baits. So I've got about $180 worth, or I spent $180. This is probably more like $300 worth of tackle. I doubt anybody in here wants to do the math. I don't see Daniel T in the house, so my guess is no, and I wouldn't blame any of you. So let's get right into it. Last time I showed you that I did get one of these baits right here. I told you I got two of them actually. So here's the other one. These baits were on sale for $1.99. I've never tried it before. The Lunker Hunt Phantom Spider. So I picked up one in black. This is like a black widow color, widow maker. And then this other one that's a little bit more of a natural brown type of color. So not a bait that was really on my radar by any means, but as a bait that's like $10 or $12 retail, at least, for $1.99, I decided to try it. Like I said, I've never subscribed to Mystery Tackle Box or any other thing like that to where I would have tried this. So there's a first for everything, and I will try it at some point. But because the bait is so small and has such a small hook, I decided to bend these up. I showed you guys me bending them out and up when I opened this bait live last week. So one more of those in there. Couple of craw baits. This is one that I have fished before, but the deal was too good. Couldn't not get them. So have you guys ever used the Savage Gear 3D craw? So they now make the 4D craw, which is similar, but the 3D craw is a pretty wicked bait. And this thing was on super sale during the holiday sale. So I picked up 2 packs in this bait, one in each of the larger sizes that they make, both in the same color. I call this color candy, and this is like a green pumpkin watermelon-ish, kind of a pale color, but with some purple flake in there. Okay, let's see if I can get the camera to focus on this for you guys. The camera's really acting up tonight. There we go. And you can see in my hand that this is not a small bait by any means. This is a full-size jig trailer, or a good mid-sized Texas rig bait, or wobblehead, football jig, whatever you want to do with it. But anatomically, just perfectly correct. And this guy's got a hollow body between the tail and the head. The body section is hollow and the tail is solid. So really cool designed bait here. But they do tend to be a little bit expensive. They're like $10 a pack or something like that. So I strayed from using them a lot. I used them some, but strayed from using them a lot due to the price. But these were like less than $3 a pack during the 25 days of Christmas. So I also got a pack of the 5-inch size, same color, absolutely giant bait here. Okay, so take a look at these big mamas. I mean, this is like, I would definitely eat a crawfish this size. So 2 packs of the Savage Gear 3D crayfish, one in the 4-inch, one in the 5-inch. These, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with these first, when or where I'm going to fish these. There's one or two bodies of water that I fish that have really large crawdads. So I will probably use these there, but it's just a matter of when or how specifically I will rig these. But couldn't pass up the deal. And so that is what drew me in to 2 packs of the Savage Gear 3D crayfish. Okay. A soft plastic I had never tried before, but has like vaguely been on my radar for a while. Jermaine, what's up, dude? How are you doing tonight, man? Good to see you. All right, so this is the Castaic CBT Finesse or Finesse CBT stick bait. They make this thing in 4 different sizes, and I decided to pick up 3 of the 4 sizes. These are the 3 biggest sizes. And they were on sale, but not like the most amazing deal. I spent like a little less than $3 on the smaller sizes and a little over $3 on the biggest. But I got the 5-inch in black and blue, the 7-inch in green pumpkin, and the 10-inch in June bug. So I will say these baits are different than what I thought they would. Castaic is kind of local near you. Chicken fried steak. Interesting. So here is the Finesse CBT worm. It's interesting. It's very skinny, very ribbed. Kind of reminds me of the 6th Sense Clout in terms of the design of the ribbing. But then it's got this spade tail, pointed tail, and it's made from a very unique blend of plastic that is stretchy, but as you can see, I'm pulling hard here. This is not elastic material, but it's also not a traditional plastisol. So I'm not really sure what it's made of, but 5-inch black and blue. This is a skinny bait. I'm curious to know what the buoyancy is going to be like on these things, given the plastic material. I don't know how much they're going to float. So I envision that 5-inch being more of like a weighted wacky rig bait, drop shot bait, Nico rig. Whereas I think this 7-inch is going to do better on a shaky head or something of the sort, maybe more of a Texas rig type of bait. I'm a little disappointed to see that the 7-inch only comes with 3 in a pack, considering they're not super cheap. It seems a little bit overpriced for what it is, but still looks like a pretty good bait nonetheless. So it's not like I regret getting these, but it would take a lot for me to really like fall in love with these baits and want to stock up. I mean, it looks like I'm running out of these baits, but I just purchased them. Looks like this is a sample pack. You could probably put 5 to 10 packs worth of these baits in one bag. So just looks and feels weird. But I will say this 10-inch is the winner. Okay. This guy right here is Haas. They say it's 10, but this looks a lot bigger than that. I swear this is probably 7 inches right here. And then we've got another 4 plus. I mean, they say this right here is 10 inches. It's way bigger than the 7 in all dimensions. It's a much thicker bait. It's that same blend of plastic. So a little bit stretchy, definitely going to be a durable bait, but June bug in the 10-inch, this is going to be a really good bait. Now, first glance, I was kind of upset because you see this kink in the worm. It's because of the packaging. It's the same damn bag that they're using for the 5-inch, the 7-inch, and this 10-inch. And that's kind of annoying that they ruin the bait by putting it in the bag the way they do. But I think it might actually have some interesting action with this built-in kink. Um, so I'm willing to have an open mind about it. I'll say that. But this 10-inch in the CBT finesse or finesse CBT, whatever it is, actually seems like a good bait. Okay. So spent like $9 or $10 on those just to see what they were, only to be minorly underwhelmed other than the 10-inch. So I do that for you guys. I'll say that. Whew. Michael Romero in the house. What's up? What's up? You thought the original Champ Craw by Berkeley was a big craw? Yeah, this 5-inch is one of the bigger craw baits that I have seen, especially in a realistic profile. I mean, this is mega size. The 4-inch is already big and bordering on too big to be used as a standard jig trailer, but the 5-inch like dwarfs the 4. Pretty cool to see them and have them though. I'll say I've used the 3-inch a fair amount and the 4-inch a couple of times, but never the 5. So Tom says I've been busy making some Castaic jerky J's into a line through with a twist. Nice, dude. Prototypes look really good. Dude, the jerky J's are legit. I mean, I really only throw the 5-inch size, but awesome chatterbait trailer, and obviously awesome on a scrounger, given that that's really what it was made for. But great bait right there, dude. Okay, so let's keep moving on soft baits. While we're at it with worms, we could talk about some other worms. I think I only got one other type. And this reminds me a lot of a bait that I just unboxed for you guys very recently. And this is the Molix Stick Flex in the 4.5. So this reminds me a lot of the X Zone Lures Ned Zone, right? Awesome Ned bait that's been out for years. One of my favorites on the market, but took the company a number of years to then finally upsize and make the same bait in a larger size that's perhaps more appropriate for Nico rigging, or just an upsized presentation. Originally, like Z-Man came out with the big TRD, and a lot of companies, when they got into the Ned rig game, like RoboWorm, for example, they put out both sizes of their Ned worm at the same time. A lot of companies have done that, but Molix and X Zone were two companies that took a little bit longer than I would have liked to finally come out with these baits, but I'm glad that they did. I got 2 packs, one in green pumpkin, one in this laminate color called Silver Shad, watermelon silver shad. And I'll show you what's cool about this bait. So, first of all, it's the same profile as the original Molix Stick Flex, the 3-inch Ned bait. So you get this solid body with a little bit of ribbing on the bottom. And then on the top, you get this almost like filleted, like it's cut in half, um, with all of this super fine ribbing. So really interesting, where you get a ton of movement out of the top half of this bait. Okay. And cool color here with this laminate, a little bit of a pearl belly with a hint of green on it, and then this green silver swirl with some gold flake in there. So pretty sweet color pattern. Awesome bait that is made from an elastic material that I don't know what they call it. Oh, they don't really have a name for it. They explain it, but they don't have a name for it. but this is a super durable and scented bait. And not just that, but what makes this one different than its little brother is that in these uh, first one, two, three sections of the body, um, what earlier today, I swear, maybe it was a defect. One of these baits that I had opened had a hollow pocket. I wonder if these other ones do. Maybe not. That was a defect. Maybe my green pumpkin one I got lucky with. So I'm not surprised that it's not supposed to have that, but interesting that I had gotten lucky with one of these. Oh yeah, definitely a defect. So this one, I just happened to get one that was poured incorrectly. So it's solid, 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 hollow right before then that tail section. It's like perfectly hollow. And I mean, it looks like it was intentional. So I kind of wish the bait was designed like that, but regardless, the Molex Stick Flex 4.5. This is a bait that I'm very excited about. I've had an overwhelming amount of success on the Molex Stick Flex in the 3-inch as a go-to Ned rig bait for me the past 2 seasons. So gotta have it. When I saw that it was available in the 4.5-inch, I didn't care what the price was. It was on sale, but I decided to get it regardless. So those were like $4.50 a pack. I think they retail for like $6. So they're not super cheap, but in my opinion, well worth it, especially given the durability. So if you haven't tried those, you definitely should look into them. Um, let's see here. I am missing like all of your guys' comments, so sorry about that, guys. Danny says, "Have you tried anything by Depths like the Bull Flat?" Um, Not the Bull Flat. No, I've tried the Cover Scat, and I like it. Tried the Sakamata Shad a little bit. Plan to put a lot more work in with it this year. Okay, let's go. Last piece, last item that is a soft plastic. And this is a swim bait that I have not tried before. And that I'll say when I got my hands on it today or opened it for the first time, I was very impressed. At least first impressions. Okay. This is the 6 Sense Sweep soft plastic swim bait that I don't know if it was just the timing of when this bait was released or what. But this bait, I think, has not gotten the attention that it deserves. This is a hollow-bodied soft plastic swim bait. Check out this cool packaging, by the way. It looks like it's perforated, and like you should be able to split these off and take one with you. I thought it was at first. It almost looks like it is, but it's not. But the cool thing is you can open this clamshell from the middle down. So it's like two separate clamshells in one, which I do really like. So here is the bait. And it's absolutely stunning. I mean, I'm not surprised because it is 6 Sense. Um, but they literally custom paint all of these swim baits. So this is the Shad Burst color, which is awesome because it's got a combination of some translucency, totally clear in this bottom portion with a white belly, some silver and flash on the sides, and then a natural stripe down the side and kind of a bronzy brown back. So beautiful bait. You can see that it's got a fully open cavity here and a nice hook slot to rest your hook on here. The package says that this it pairs well with a 7 or 8/0 keel weighted swim bait hook. So, owner beast 8/0 would probably be the most appropriate. I feel like you could probably get away with a 6/0. The hook slot does go to right here. Don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, pretty sweet bait here. So from a softness standpoint, just so you have an idea of how easily this thing folds up, just how soft it is, and how much tail action is on it, I would say this has a medium soft tail. So a little bit more tail than like what you get out of a Megabass Mag Draft. So should be good in pretty much all um, water temperatures. It's got this unique shaped tail that's a little bit more narrow than what you get out of a lot of other swim baits on the market these days. So I am curious and excited to try this thing. It was on super sale and I couldn't help but try it. For whatever reason, it had kind of flown under the radar, was not really a bait that I was planning on trying or had picked up before. And now, having seen it, I have no regrets of having picked it up. And I would recommend um, that you at least check it out. Pick up a pack to see for yourself what it's like. Of course, I can't recommend the bait without having tried it and seen the action for myself, but first impressions of it are very good in terms of um, the profile, the material, and the colors, what I imagine the action will be like. So, very cool. Two colors. That is the Shad Burst, and this is the 4K Bluegill. I mean, tough to beat those colors, right? Pretty sweet. And guess what the pricing on these puppies was? It was almost 50% off. I paid less than $7 a pack for these. No, sorry. $8.74. Not 50% off, but still a really good deal. $9 for two of those swim baits. And let's see, I've got one other swim bait, and it's a big boy. Too bad Matt and Brendan are not in here right now, but I did get the 13 Fishing Coalition Baits trout wedge tail swim bait. So as you can see, it says trout wedge. This is the light trout color. 9-inch bait, weighs nearly 6 ounces. This is right up Brendan's alley. This is a hoss of a bait. Probably the heaviest soft bait that I have. I'm almost positive that it is, but look at this mega. I mean, might as well hold it like I caught it, right? So, this beauty is 9 inches long. It has this like matte finish, and yet it's also translucent in the light. The paint job is just super cool. They call this light trout, and I quite like it. So, couple really unique features about this bait, aside from the wedge tail, that, in my opinion, from a softness standpoint, really does bridge the gap between like a Huddleston and a Savage Gear. Perhaps not quite as much tail as a Huddleston, but it's pretty close. Um, and for such a big bait, the price on this thing is really good. I think it retails for like 35 bucks. I spent $24.49 on it to finally pull the trigger and give it a try. So this bait has a giant VMC jig hook in it, but it does come with this built-in ring so that you can rig a harness system and a stinger hook around this fin and boom, attached to this magnet built into the top of the bait. So this bait was definitely built with a harness and stinger hook in mind, and that is pretty innovative and cool. So I'm excited to have this bait and eventually to use it. I say eventually, but really, I think I'm going to have opportunities sooner than I think. So I am very excited to try it out as soon as trout stocking happens, um, which for me, I think we're talking about April for that. So, boom shakalaka, less than 25 bucks. I kind of had to pull the trigger on it. Now, we're moving into hard bait territory. Um, just kidding. I've got 2 packs of the Savage Gear Ned Craw. This is the opposite direction of the baits that I already showed you. This is the tiny little 2.5-inch Ned size craw. I talk about this bait from time to time. It has been a sleeper bait for me over the last handful of years, especially on a drop shot and around smallmouth and around bedding fish. But that is why I picked up this bait. It's just done so well for me, and it was on super sale. So it was on sale for less than $3 a pack. And yeah, so you get that same anatomically correct, super realistic profile. However, this guy is made from Duratech, which is Savage Gear's Elastec material, and it's scented. So super awesome bait, really perfect on a Ned rig or a finesse jig or on a drop shot. And yeah, picked up 2 packs of this, black and blue and albino white. So I see the white being perfect for a drop shot, for bed fishing, um, short leader drop shot. And then for this guy, I see it more as a finesse jig trailer. Um, but take a look at the size difference between this 2.5-inch craw and this 4-inch craw. And finally, this 5-inch craw. So technically, this is only double the length, but I mean, look at 2.5 inches, 5 inches. These are literally right next to each other. So pretty cool. This 2.5-inch bait is underrated and definitely one that you need to be fishing with more frequently. Okay, so the Ned Craw from Savage Gear, it was less than $3 a pack. Got 2 of them. Okay, pretty straightforward there. That is my favorite of the Ned baits from Savage Gear, but I do really love their Salamander as well. Okay, 2 packs of those. And now we're on to the hard baits. Let's do that. I do have a couple of top waters here. How about a frog? Glad to hear that you guys like the look of the swim bait as well. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, you're right, Danny. Tactical Bassin is a big fan of wedge tails, and in general, I think there's a big trend two wedge tail swim baits in the market. You know, it used to be that Huddleston kind of had the market covered when it came to the wedge tail swim bait, but not anymore. Oh, Matt, you missed a bunch, dude. No worries. Um, well, that's all right. We're gonna do the hard baits here, and you can go back and rewatch the rod unboxing and the soft plastics. But I think you'll be excited about the bait that I just opened a minute ago. Um, in this big boy right here. Okay, so you can go back and see that up close. Same with this guy right here. Both very good first impressions. So, um, as for hard baits, dude, I have some baits in here that were not really even on my radar or seriously so. I was not planning to purchase. So first is the Teckle Duck Roker. I mean, what? This bait was not even really on my radar because I'm skeptical of this design in a few ways, but this bait was on such super sale that I couldn't help it. I had to get it. It was on sale for $6.98. So what am I supposed to do? Not get it? Um, as you can see, it's got that Teckle body, but this is the poppin' nose. So super soft, awesome hookup ratio, as you would expect. A little bit different leg design on this thing. And then, of course, the tail is really what makes this bait different. So inside the tail, under this skirt, is a rattle chamber. And inside that rattle chamber is a BB. So it has a pretty loud, like one knocker style rattle in that. And this thing, as you walk the bait, makes a racket on the surface. So that's the concept here, is they just put a rattle on the back. Now, they did also put a little ring on this rattle so that I guess you could put a hook or another accessory on behind this. You could put a treble hook onto the rattle to increase your hookup ratio if you're fishing in open water, perhaps. But otherwise, this is um, this is still a mat fishing frog with a rattle. Um, at least I would imagine so. So I'm curious about it. I hadn't tried the bait and wasn't going to get it because look at the profile on this thing. It is very long. The first thing that it reminds me of is that river to sea whopper plopper attachment that attaches and trails behind a frog. And I have those. I've talked about them before. The main reason that I don't love them is that it elongates the profile and it doesn't collapse well. And therefore, I think you do end up with short strikes and issues with hookup ratio. But this bait right here, actually, this weight does collapse fairly well. And so I wonder if maybe it's not going to get in the way like I thought that it would. So I don't know. The jury's out on that one. I'm curious to see, but I like the sound of the rattle. I like the look of the bait, and I like the popping mouth. So for $7, I mean, psh, yeah, had to do it. Had to do it. Um, yeah, it does have a lot going on. So I will definitely give this thing a go in the summertime, but I don't know it. it doesn't jump up in terms of like baits that I immediately feel the need to go fish or have this sense of confidence that I did not expect. I mean, I'm excited to have it. I'm pleasantly surprised. My first impressions are good. I'll leave it at that. The other topwater bait that I got that was not expecting to pick up, but is one that I have loved for a number of years, is the River to Sea Rover in the 128. Okay. River to Sea rarely discounts their products. I mean, they're known for being a manufacturer that restricts retailers. So they force retailers' hands so that discounts are not allowed on River to Sea products. However, they must have made an exception because all of their baits, or a lot of them, were on sale during the 25 days of Christmas. At least that's how I remember it. But this bait was definitely on sale, and it was $9, $9.09. River to Sea Rover 128. This is, the larger size 5-inch walking bait. They call this color Ghost Minnow. So I'm learning tonight that my camera does not like chrome, loses focus when the chrome comes into the picture. But as you can see, this is a Ghost Minnow pattern. A lot of flash in it. The flash really messes with my webcam, but solid feathered treble on here. Good hardware straight out of the pack, and a really good rattle where you really get that combination of sounds where you get the high pitch rattles up in the nose, and then you get that knocker, that shifting ball in the tail. It's just a very alluring sound. The Rover is a good bait. And I know that Tactical Bassin, I think they also talk about the Rover. I have for a while. So this Ghost Minnow color pattern is cool. It's got a lot of translucent blue hues to the belly as well. You'll be able to see more of this up close in the unboxing video that I'll post here in the next couple of days. So a couple of top waters. Didn't expect to buy any top water baits in the off season here, but because of those deals, to buy those two baits for a total of $15, kind of had to do it. Danny, favorite walking bait is the shower blows. Yep, shower blows is awesome. I don't, it doesn't come to my mind first when I'm thinking of walking baits because of the way that I use it. Um, when I think of walking baits, I'm thinking of covering water. Um, but I use a shower blows in the same scenario that I use a popping bait, that I just want a little bit more commotion and that wilder action, the fleeing, struggling in place as opposed to fleeing and running. So got a handful of crankbaits in here, and then one swim bait, and that'll do it. And I'm not wanting to stay on here super late tonight since it is a weeknight, but let's start with one that's not as new or exciting, but it's a new color. This is the Berkeley Dredger 8.5. So the Dredger is a small to medium bodied medium to deep diving crankbait, and it's a good one. It's got a pretty subtle rattle system. especially in the smaller sizes. This smallest 8.5 size, as you would expect, dives to roughly 8.5 feet. I think it dives no more than 10 feet. Yeah, 8 to 10 feet, 2 inches, and it's 5/16 of an ounce. So this is a lightweight crankbait, and this is in that stone cold color that I absolutely love that they make in I first got it in the Berkeley Stunna, and since then they have started producing this colorway in a bunch of other hard baits. So this is one I'm pretty excited about. You get that frosted bill and then that more matte shad look with a little bit of that purple hue to it. So super cool color pattern. This light doesn't do it justice right now, but I'm excited about that. So that also wasn't on super sale. I think I still spent like 8, almost $9 on this dude. No, I spent 7.69 on that. So not bad. It was a bait that I like in a color that I wanted. So willing to bite the bullet on that. Um, Another bait that I like, but so in a very similar way to the Molix bait, in a bait that I really like, but they just didn't have the right size out yet. This is the 6 Sense Swank 66 instead of the 77. The 77 is the standard size, the original size in that bait, and it's a big bait, right? So this bait is like 3 inches and weighs close to 3/4 of an ounce. Okay, it's a pretty big bodied crankbait, and the 66, on the other hand, is more of a true middle size, normal size crankbait. Still same action, same diving depth of being that like 2 to 5 foot diver, depending on the line size, the rod angle, all of that. I got 2 colors in this. This is a cool all chrome color pattern that I had never seen before, called Shad Surge. So super chromy sides, blue back, orange belly. Pretty straightforward color pattern, but looks beautiful. So you get the same exact pitch, maybe a little bit higher sound. Sounds pretty close, but maybe a little bit higher pitch in the littler guy, as you would imagine, compared to its bigger brother. But from a size standpoint, you can see right next to each other that the 77 is pretty substantially larger. I'm perhaps not doing it justice by showing you that way, but yeah, the 77 is a big bait. 66 is a normal size bait. So this guy is, I think, 2.5 inches, 60 millimeters, and weighs a ½ ounce. So much more my speed and up my alley. Same size as the Strike King Hybrid Hunter Junior, which, again, Strike King came out with both sizes at the same time. When 6 Sense came out with the Swank 77, had it out for a number of years before finally putting out the 66. So got Shad Surge and then Bluegilla. Awesome bluegill pattern here. 6 Sense makes some of the best color patterns. You think about it, I already got this awesome 4K bluegill in the sweep, and I feel like there was another bluegill pattern that I got, but Um, this one right here, Bluegilla, is gorgeous. I mean, super nice color pattern. So this is mostly a grass fishing bait, can be used in a variety of situations, but due to the way that it moves, the way that it comes through grass, and the way that it sounds, it is made to be a grass fishing bait primarily. So one bluegill, one shad pattern on that guy. Um, Definitely intend to fish more of it this year. So last crankbait that I got is a new size bait to the market. The Jackal TN series of lipless crankbaits has been on the market for years and years, but the 80 size is a newer size bait, at least to the US market. I don't know if it's new overall, but this is the biggest size in the line. As you'll see, it's 80 millimeters in length, but it weighs over an ounce. It's 29 and change, 29 grams. So this is a big bait. I'll show it to you next to the TN70, which is the next biggest bait in the line. So from a size and weight standpoint, you know, little bit bigger than the LV500 from Lucky Craft. So we're talking about a pretty substantial bait here in terms of size. So here is the LV500, for example. You can just see side by side that the TN80 is not only a little bit bigger, but it's got a larger, taller profile as well, and it's heavier. So the LV500 is 3/4 of an ounce, and this TN80 is just over an ounce. Okay, so the TN70, as you can see, does look substantially smaller. This is more of their standard size. Listen to that. So interesting. The TN80, it sounds like more of the disc knocker version than the original. So I just let you hear the original, and then here is the TN70 in the disc knocker, or the one knocker version for them. And here's the new TN80, which I think only comes in one model. The TN70 and lower models, the disc knocker, it literally has a disc that looks kind of like a battery that would go in like a watch or something like that. Okay, and it just goes side to side inside the bait. Makes a really good sound. Makes sense that it's called the disc knocker, but the standard TN has a bunch of different BBs in it, made from multiple materials. Okay. And now this TN80, I don't know what to make of it. It's got one ball inside the bait. You can't totally see it because, okay, there you go. You can see it. And that is a round ball, not a disc. And listen to that. So interesting. It's unlike all of the others. I like the sound. I like the profile. It's a little bit different, but it's a big trap. So right away, this kind of goes in the same category as like the Duo Realis Apex Vibe 100. Look at the taper on this bait. It's not just um, deeper in terms of its belly, but it's also it's ow, it's also wider in this section. That's interesting. I don't think the other TN baits are fat like that. Already lost track of the box. Now I gotta look. Oh, okay. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm just tripping balls. I don't know. It looked deeper. That belly looked deeper, so it seemed more dramatic. But I could just be seeing things right now. I don't know. Okay. I've got one other bait in here, and that is going to do it. This guy I am pretty excited about. The bait, the color, not as much, but I pulled the trigger when I did because the deal was good. Okay. This is the 6 Sense Draw glide bait. This is a 9-inch glide bait. 3 3/4 ounces. So it's funny that, the timing is curious. Just like when I bought the Megabass Eye Slide 262, I had made this purchase like 10 or 12 days ago at this point, right? But it feels like since then, Ben Milliken has been on a bunch of people's live streams and talking about this bait and giving some of these away. So just curious timing that it happened to be right after I finally pulled the trigger on one of these. So this is a big glide bait, more in the same class as like the Savage Gear Magnum Shine Glide, being a 9-inch, 4-ounce bait roughly. This is a really cool profile. It's a little bit slender, especially in comparison to the Magnum Shine Glide. But first impressions in looking at this, I really like the design. Oh, the tail looks kind of goofed up already, but I might need to fiddle with that. The joint angle looks good and appropriate, but it also it looks designed a little bit differently. The angle and how this is rounded instead of just steeply shaved seems a little bit different, and I am curious about that. You see that rounded angle. Now this is a like totally gold bait, so I don't fish a lot of gold baits, but I have been meaning to get more into them, and I do have a lot of bluegill and perch around me, especially in some of the trophy smallmouth fisheries around me. So this guy's going to get some use around those bodies of water. And yeah, so this was not my first choice of color pattern, but for the deal, it was $52. So I want to say the bait retails at like 70 or 75 bucks. And yeah, all of these deals were too good to pass up, starting with the rod all the way to these bigger swim baits, and then some of the soft plastics and the spiders. Sometimes the deals can get the best of you, and it's an addiction, right? But it's a fun one. It's a good one to have, I might argue. So I'm going to throw most of this back in this box, try not to make a huge mess of my space. But anyway, 5-inch crawdads, insane. I mean, that would you? throw this? When and where should I throw this first? Um, it's mega. Um, yeah, I'm excited to have all of these baits. It gets the creative juices flowing for me. That reminds me of something else that I did want to show you. Matt, I'll show you one more time, even though you weren't here earlier. But here is pretty sick, almost dream combo that is new for me that I managed to snag both pieces on sale. Bought the rod on Tackle Warehouse. This is what I unboxed at the very beginning of this live stream. And this is the 13 Fishing Envy Black 2 in the 610 medium heavy fast. Super sensitive, super light, and super high end rod. I think it's the nicest casting rod that I have owned to date. And with it, appropriately paired, is the nicest casting reel that I've had to date, which is the Daiwa Zillion in the 7-speed. So awesome combo that I'm excited to use as kind of a do everything and um, dock skipping setup for short, um, close quarter combat, if you will. So boom shakalaka. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Sorry, guys, that I am so far behind and not really responding to you guys much in the comments. Chicken fried steak. Yeah, man. Too good to pass up. You know, I have that mindset a little bit too often. Um, Matt had that mindset today with a couple of crankbaits. Spent $100 on 2 crankbaits. Matt says, looks like a good slower glide. Yeah, I haven't even really gotten to the point of where I'm categorizing glide baits into certain types of actions or scenarios where I will plan to use them. So um, I appreciate the input, but that's probably going to go in one ear and out the other when you say a good slower glide. But we should talk about that kind of um, fundamental stuff when it comes to swim baits and glide baits on a live stream together sometime soon. That would be fun. Joe says Carolina rigged that thing. That is a great idea and probably one of the better ideas for rigging this thing. Otherwise, I'm thinking Texas rig, I could flip with it. I could Nico rig it. I could throw it on a mop jig or maybe on like a wobble head. But yeah, Carolina rig is a pretty good idea. Good to know, Matt. Yeah, I just took inventory of all of my setups, my rods and reels recently. It's crazy to think that I've got rods from like 8 different manufacturers. My reels are starting to consolidate a little bit in terms of the number of brands that I'm using. Still use like 5 different ones, but the rods are pretty wide across the board. JP pulled the trigger on the epic shads too. Nice, man. Guys, so I know we've got 15 people in here. Only 11 thumbs up. Guys, do me a favor. At least hit that thumbs up button real quick before we get out of here. I am going to get back on here hopefully tomorrow night. I have another rod to unbox. This month's discount tackle unboxing is literally just a rod. Um, I didn't get anything else in this month's order. I just decided to purchase a rod because it was on sale. Like I don't know if it was 20 or if it was 30% off, but regardless, I was excited about the deal, wanted the rod for myself, so did that. So I will open that with you guys on the next stream, and we can talk about a wide variety of stuff. But I'm going to get out of here and enjoy the rest of my night, which is going to be brief because tomorrow's a school day for my children. We've got an early morning tomorrow. And yeah, so hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for joining in. A little bit shorter of a live stream tonight for me, but I appreciate you guys. Um, Thank you for your support. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, and I will see you again on the next one. Look at Jermaine is still awake. Jermaine, I'm proud of you, dude. Have a great rest of your night. Cheers, guys.